Hey everybody, Scout Crafty here again. Mishmash Monday. Hope you had a nice weekend. It was Super Bowl weekend. You know, I've never seen a Super Bowl in my entire life. That might seem pretty unusual to a lot of you, but there's a long story behind it. Anyway, I had a rant. You know, I filmed a rant yesterday for today's video. 6 minutes long. I went to Home Depot and I looked at the Estwing's new soft blow hammer handles and I just went, you know. But then I went on Amazon to check the reviews and there were a couple people saying they like the new thicker handle and I just couldn't understand it. But I said, you know, instead of a rant, maybe I should talk about customizing your tools, and let's talk about that. I first became aware of how important customization was to your tools or to your firearms or your bows, your archery, whatever, when I was competitive shooting, and that's where you learn every time that you can make something more comfortable. You're going to do much better with that particular item, and I'll show you what I mean over here. Now, for those of you who have ever been blessed enough to hold one of these, this is a replica. This is non-firing, but it's a replica, and the reason I used to have these is because I used to make holsters. This is one of my early holsters, and this is a Colt single action. And it was invented by Samuel Colt, and just an absolutely beautiful firearm, pistol, if you've ever had a chance, like I said, to hold one. Now, Mr. Colt, what he did was, you know, when he was inventing this, he went through and he must have carved about 100 different models until he got just the right one. And when you put one of these Colt single actions in your hand, whether it's a cap gun or whatever when you were a kid, but you felt the balance, the feel. And I used to be a firearms instructor for the NRA for many years, and when you would let somebody shoot a pistol like this, they would shoot so much better than other pistols because it fit into their hand so much better. Look how thin it is around here. You know, compare that to something like a Glock or something, it's very unnatural to the hand. And when you put something like this in your hand, you realize just how beautiful and well made this was to fit into everybody's hand, not just mine. So it made you think there was a lot of thought that went into this. So that's why it's so difficult to buy a tool like now online, because, you know, sometimes you can look at it and figure it out, but you'll get it home and you say, it just don't feel right. And sometimes you're lucky you can actually customize a tool and make it better. And other times you got to live with it, you know, like it's hard to start filing down, you know, acetate handles and things like that. But if you get a wooden handle, if you get a hammer or something and it's not comfortable, don't be afraid to take it to the belt sander and thin it out a little bit or something, just to make it comfortable. Now, you remember these two saws we did the other day. Now, a lot of these saws, like the old distance saws, had perfect handles, but this one here, as beautiful as it is, it's a little tight I got monster hands, and it's a little bit tight for my hands. So, but it's a very comfortable ergonomic handle. Just see, so if I would have bought something like this online and got it home, I'd be like, oh, darn it, you know. So, you know, a lot of times what you'll see guys with big hands do, a lot of times when we cut, we always have one finger out. It does help your accuracy to have your index finger pointing out, and you only put 3 fingers in the handle. But, you know, I can't get that 4th finger in there because my hands are too thick. And the same with this one here. Now, this one here is a much wider handle. I can get my 4 fingers in there. And so this one here would be a better fit for me. For today's first project, I thought we would look at this ORSA saw. This saw here was made in Sweden. You could see here. There you go. Can you see that? This was made in Sweden. I'll get a better lighting on there. But it's unusual because it has a plastic type handle, and it is a comfortable handle. It's got the little thumb cutout in there. The blade it's just a little filthy, but it's not rusted too bad. So just let's do our first project for today. Let's do a little cleanup on this and see about this saw. Now, we went over both sides with a brand new wire brush, and you could see here, you know, that's impregnated. That rust is in the grain of the steel. Now look, this is what it looked like new, and this is what we're going to try and get it to. So that's what we're going to go to the fiber wheel, and watch what a difference the fiber wheel. Remember, I went through the whole thing with the wire brush, and you can see what it looks like. But now we're going to go with the fiber wheel and get under that. Okay, we just came off the brake, the fiber wheel. Look at that. Nice, huh? That's the only way you're going to get this. But to blend some of these in, we're going to take, this is a actual Scotch Brite. It's a Scotch brand, but it's a fine pad. And we're going to use some polishing compound. Now to get this, just jump in any time machine, go back to about 1970, and go to any auto parts store. And, oh man, can you smell it? Oh, that smells so good. Again, this stuff brings me back. My dad used to drive an oil truck, and a lot of times when he was new, they would lay him off during the summertime, like they did with a lot of oil truck drivers. He would Simonize 2 cars a day so that he would, you know, make some money. And he was an animal. The guy was huge. Anyway, so we're going to go over this now, and hopefully it'll look nice. Now, you know my favorite part. Remember what the saw looked like before we started. And we're calling the project done. This is about the best I can get this blade looking, which is pretty nice, huh? Considering what it was before. I've got fingerprints on it now, but got all the rust out. It's smooth and silky as glass. You can see now, here I'm going to get a better light to show you what the insignia. Okay, here you can see it says John Berger, AB ORSA. ORSA is a town in Sweden. They were known for making a lot of saws in that particular town. They had a lot of pruning saws, crosscut saws, you know, things like that, lumberjack saws. And they were very popular through the years, especially in the 30s and 40s, things like that. The problem is that you didn't see too many with this plastic type handle. And that's why I bought the saw. When I saw that, I said, boy, there's something. You see a lot of wooden handles and stuff, but I would say this dates from, you know, it could be from the 50s to the 70s. I don't know. But I saw this and I said, wow. And it has nothing to do with the fact that it's kind of a red shade. Went over this with the 50-50 mineral oil and Vaseline mix. That always puts a nice sheen on it. And it's back in service. I mean, it's a beautiful little saw, lightweight. Okay, let's see how she cuts. Okay, she does a nicer job. Next up on the mosh, we have a quick cleanup of a tool that was given to me by my neighbors upstate. And look at this elegant little tool. What it is, I'll show you here. It says Lowell Wrench Company. It was patented August 10th, my father's birthday, 1875. And you would think that's Worcester, but I found out the hard way. Worcester, Massachusetts. So you can see here it's in okay shape. You know, it's got a little staining over here, but other than that, it's really nice. And let me clean it up and then show you how it works and show you why this is a little nifty little tool. Now see, this has the original nickel finish on here. I don't want to take it down too much but you see here, that little pitting up here, you see it right there. That pitting on the left side of that jaw, you know, that's I can get that out 1, 2, 3 with the belt sander and then blend it in. So I'm going to try and get that out. Remember what that looked like. Only takes a second. And we're calling this project done. It came out real nice, right? Just did a little polishing on it so that it looked like it did when it came from the factory. This was a nickel plated item and I didn't want to take the nickel off, but you see on the top I had to because it was pitted. But you see what a nice job now? There's no more pitting on that and it blends in super nice, you know, with the nickel. And now how this item would work, it's very simple. You can see here the jaws are opened by this conical device that when you put it down here, I'm unscrewing it, you see the jaws open it up. And what's nice about something like this, if something like this would come in handy. It's only for small parts. You could see here, if I wanted to use something like on the grinder or something like that, I could put this in here, give it a tighten, and now I don't have to worry about squeezing it like if it was a pliers, and I could address this to the grinder or whatever I had to do. And it was just a nice little tool, wasn't it? And it's almost like a like those hand vices and things like that they used to have. It was based on similar, you know, like a hand vise, and you can use this as a hand vise. But a lot of uses for this little tool. And like I said, Pat and Sue gave me this. It was in great shape, so I didn't really want to do too much to it. But you got all the dirt and any rust. It's nice and smooth, wax now. And I'll put it in the drawer. It's a cool little conversation piece. Okay, last up on the mosh. You know, remember years ago, music meant so much to us. You know, when you hit a certain age, when you're growing up, a lot of times we hear music that we remember when we were younger, and it brings back such great memories, you know. Well, I got to tell you about a channel, a YouTube channel, that I happened to come across a couple weeks ago, and I never smashed the subscribe button so quick in my life after I heard these guys. And here's the backstory on them. It's really cool. The name of the channel is Leonard and Friends. And Leonid is a Russian composer, obviously from Russia. And he was really into the band Chicago back in the, you know, in the 70s. They were a big band. And so what he did was for his 60th birthday, he got together a bunch of friends, and he broke down all the band instruments from the Chicago records, and he rented a studio, and he played, kind of did a cover band style, and he covered a couple of their songs. Now, the interesting thing is, he did it in such a way that he totally captured the essence of the band. And the band is still around, but you know, they don't sound anything like they used to. But these guys sound exactly like they were in the, you know, like they did at their prime. And it's really, and the funniest part about it is only like one or two of them speak English. They all speak Russian, so they don't even, you know, it's such a great thing. And I'm going to put the link in the description. If you get a chance, go pay them a visit. And tell me what you think. And, you know, I wasn't a big fan of Chicago growing up, but after hearing these guys cover it and with such excitement, I'm a total fan. So I thought maybe you might enjoy that too. Anyway, hope you have a nice day. Thanks very much for tuning in. Take care now. Bye-bye.